Once I had the courage to release the old timeline, to let it go, to see who the F I am and what I deserve, and believe in that, and see that vision and commit to it, it shifted. Have you ever been in a relationship with someone who straight up told you they were not sexually attracted to you, and or they didn't see your value, but you still stayed with them? Look, if you have, no judges, because I have too. And in this video, I'm going to tell you that story, and then I'm going to tell you how I used the energy of that situation to alchemize it and create a quantum leap for myself. Yeah, it's possible to take something as hurtful and painful as your partner not being into you and use it as fuel for your manifestations. And how do I know this is possible? Because, my friends, I did it. I've done it multiple times. You heard it here first. Here's the situation. I was in a relationship for 8 years with someone who had his own fear of commitments, had his own phobias, and also, this is really interesting, we never told each other that we loved each other in 8 years. He didn't say it. I wasn't going to say it. So we just did not say the thing. We didn't say I love you. And I'm all about unconventional relationships. You don't have to follow a template. People can do what they want to do. But I've realized this taught me I'm a person who wants to be with somebody that says I love you. I want to say it. I want them to say it. I want us to be able to openly express our love for each other, because if not, then what are we doing? Why are we here? Relationships are hard. They take a lot of work. And that love is honey, baby. That is the sweetness that makes the work worth it. It's part of that sweetness. So I wanted it. In fact, when it comes to relationships, I want all the goodies that make the hard things worth it. And what I define as a goodie might be different for you. But I stayed with him. I stayed with him when he told me that he wasn't sexually attracted to me very early on. I appreciate his honesty. It was information to help me make a decision, an informed decision, and I did. And I'm not going to say it was a wrong decision. I won't say it was wrong, because that relationship, it was like a ship on a passage. It gave me passage. It got me from point A to point B. Gave me a leg up. And so many of my relationships have. There have been some where I'm like, okay, what good came from this? Like what? And I have to really, really look to find it. But some it's glaringly obvious. Like we bought a house. I wanted to get a house. Together we were able to get a house. I wanted a media room within that house. I wanted to have fun. I was really into playing video games, and I wanted to have the resources to be able to do that, and the freedom to be whoever I was inside of that relationship and be able to go do my own thing without him, which is most of what I did, like 80% of the time. I got all of those things that I wanted, and it helped get me through until it was time for my next big story arc. So I'm grateful to him for that. It wasn't a waste of time. It's just not something the me of today would tolerate and put up with. I was okay with the emotional distance. I was okay with the avoidance. It was kind of cool with me because I don't like to be smothered. And sometimes intimacy can make me a little queasy. Sometimes intimacy can make me feel some type of way. It can make me feel very uncomfortable. I really want to get a lot better about that at this point in my life. I learned to just accept it. I learned to just be okay with me. It was okay. It was not a big deal. Not really what I wanted, but not the worst thing. So I called that relationship. I was like, we were sailing along a placid sea. There weren't a lot of high highs, but there weren't a lot of low lows. And I was kind of content with that. Like, not bad. It just was like, this is okay. It's all right. It's okay. It works. And I continued on like that for 8 years of my life. And then finally, we had talked about getting married. Finally, he asked me. I said yes, because for 8 years, that's really all I wanted. I was following the template. I was supposed to get married. This is what you did. You bought a house, you got the media room, got the big girl job, corporate America, and now you upgrade from boyfriend to husband because that's just what people do, right? And I wanted it. I wanted it. I didn't even really care so much about the fact that I wanted it with someone who was just sort of about me. I just wanted to be married. And, well, I decided with him, be good enough. Be good enough. Once we started planning our wedding, I knew I didn't want to go all out for that. I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on one day. I was trying to be extremely frugal. And so I had a budget of $100 for this wedding. $100. My mom was the director of her Chamber of Commerce at that time. She had connections and she was helping me meet that budget. Being really great friends with the owners of an Italian restaurant really helped cut down that catering bill. So it looked like this was all going to plan. Everything was going to be just as I thought it should. And then one day, he starts talking to me about wedding photos. Leanne, wedding photos are forever. Don't you think maybe you want to lose a little bit of weight so that, well, I don't remember what his exact words were, but it was lose a little bit of weight for the photo. He was basically saying, like, don't you want to look as good as possible in these photos? They're forever. Don't you want to look the best you could possibly look? And it hurt because if you followed me for any length of time, you will know that people telling me how I should look or telling me that I don't look how I should look, that I should look a different way than I do, that's been a theme that's been coming through my entire life. And here it was again, and it was from the person I was planning to spend the rest of my life with. Like, that's pretty harsh reality. And I paused for a minute. I called in my higher self, my sassy super Aquarian self. And I said, you know what? You're right. You're right. I'm going to do this. I am going to lose the weight, but here's the deal. I'm going to do it for me. I'm not going to do it for you. And the other thing is, I am going to change. I'm going to transform. I'm going to glow up. The other reality of the situation is I will start catching the attention of guys that I think are more attractive than you are. But I'll do it. I'm going to do it. And I did do it. I did. And I was very consistent with it because you know, consistency moves the needle. And I got into some really great shape. I was looking good. And it came time to go to my bachelorette party. And I decided I was going to go to a Tiesto concert in Austin. I lived in the Dallas area at the time. And I invited my best friend and my niece Kayla and her best friend. Girls' night on the town in the big city of Austin. And I met a guy there. A guy who had my birthday, just 11 years younger than me. And it was like instant attraction, magnetic. Wow, this guy is so interesting. Completely fascinated by him. What I later came to identify as some sort of twin flame connection back whenever I was even considering that to be a thing. And my world shattered. It shattered. I fell in love with Austin. I didn't want to go back home. I knew this is where I needed to live. And all of a sudden, going back to my old life felt extremely uncomfortable and foreign. And I have a song out on Spotify. I wrote the lyrics. I used Suno to help me flesh it out into a fully produced song. It's on all of the major platforms right now. It's called Shifting Timelines. And it is about another period in my life more recently where this happened to me, that I shifted timelines. During that bachelorette party, I shifted to a new timeline, and the older timeline was not going to work for me anymore. And it didn't. I tried to hold it together and to keep it together, but it didn't. First, we ended up calling off the wedding, then breaking up, then getting back together, then breaking up again 7 months after we were supposed to get married. And I ended up dating a guy from my bachelorette party a few months after that. And it didn't work out. It was toxic. It was toxic AF. But I learned a lot from that experience. And that experience led me to another like, oh my gosh, can't believe this is my life and it happened to me video, which is who I ended up marrying and how he was connected to the guy I met at my bachelorette party. So stay tuned for that. If you want the next installment in this saga, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a thing. And my reason for sharing this was I wanted to tell you what's possible. I wanted to tell you what's possible when you believe so strongly in yourself, in what you're capable of, in what you deserve, and you just say, no, it's going to be, this is how it's going to be. It's going to be like this. You speak it into existence. Maybe no one else even has to hear it. Maybe you speak it to yourself, but you say it like it is. You believe it to be so. I had people laugh at me when I told them I wanted to move to Austin, including my ex and his mommy. He even got her on the phone to try to talk some sense into me. They're like, Leanne, you want to move to Austin? You don't even have a job. Like, how are you going to support yourself? What are you going to do there? He didn't want to go. And I was so adamant about moving that I said, look, I'm going. You can come with me. You can stay here, but I am going. I was so committed. I was so committed to this vision. I was so committed to what I was feeling inside of myself. And you know what happened after that breakup? I ended up getting a job as a travel consultant where I got paid to travel the world. Within a few months of me getting that job, I was on a luxury cruise to the Mediterranean. And they paid for me to get my passport, and they paid all my expenses, and I got paid a check to be on that trip. And that happened within a few months of us breaking up. Once I had the courage to release the old timeline, to let it go, to see who the F I am and what I deserve, and believe in that, and see that vision and commit to it, it shifted. And I've done it a few more times since, and I'm gonna be making more videos about this because I realize I can talk to you about mindset, I can talk to you about how to do all of the things, and I can also tell you about my own story. I haven't been talking about my story as much. And I realized I needed to. Like, these are really big things that I've been able to accomplish in my life. And even saying them again right now here to you, I am reminded about my power and what I'm capable of. And I'm here to remind you of yours too. So thank you for being here and sharing your beautiful energy with me. Seriously, every single one of you that views this video, everybody who subscribes to my channel, everybody who likes it, you are giving me an energetic hug. You're giving me a little boost of love. You're speaking my love language. You're letting me know that this resonated. And even if it's just one person, it's enough to want to keep coming back and showing up even when life's and it feels so hard. So thank you so much for that. If you want to stay connected to me, I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel, to hit the bell notification so that you'll always know when I have a live premiere or anything coming up, because I do have live premieres. I'm trying to set these videos as live premieres so that I can meet you down there in the chat and we can connect in real time. And if you want to work closer with me personally on an individual level, we can do a walk and talk. We can go through whatever's on your mind. We'll walk the energy through. We'll move it through your body so that you can come out of that walk with a clear path forward, feeling better, feeling calmer, and feeling more focused and sure about where to go next. If you are a business owner, if you are a woman entrepreneur in the spiritual and coaching space, and you're looking for a COO to partner with you and help you run your business, I could be your gal. Just send me a message, Leanne, Leigh-ANN @lifeaquarian.com, and we'll get on a call and we'll see if we could be soulmate partners. Thank you again for being here. If there's somebody in your life that you think could benefit from sharing my story with them, please go ahead. You have my permission. I greatly appreciate it. I appreciate you. And I am sending you so much love. Can you feel the love energy coming off me right now? This energetic hug. And until the next video, thank you for being here. Bye.